Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we have the Microtech Stitch, and I have been fiending for get one of these for a long time. My dad and I went over to GP Knives in Southern Illinois. Check out their website, by the way. They have a great selection that could rival any of the other big sites. But we popped over there, and I had handled one of these over back at school in Indianapolis at Brady's Guns, and I loved it. I hadn't handled one of these yet. I'd seen them in videos and stuff, but I'm a big Microtech fan, and this was another reason for me to be a fan of Microtech because this knife is fantastic. It is a collaboration, as you can see. Let's get the light there because the finish. That is the Borka Blades logo. It's a collaboration between Microtech and Borka Blades. Borka makes the Stitch originally, but theirs is it's a manual folder. I haven't handled one of theirs, but Microtech just took it and made it automatic. And another thing is you can see this has torque screw hardware, which is new for Microtech. Any other Microtech knife you're probably going to see is going to have their proprietary hardware. They used to use these little, it's hard to see, little 3-hole screws. Now they've moved on to kind of I don't know what to call it, a 3-pronged starfish looking thing. Starfish with 3 arms. Anyways, this particular one is the black handle, black blade, bronzed hardware with the apocalyptic finish, which you can see as I move the knife around in the light that Microtech's billboarding, or their logo, the serial number, the birthday, the model, they're all pretty hidden. Like if you hold it the right way, you really can't see it. So some people hate the billboarding of Microtech's knives. I honestly don't care. I think it's kind of cool. Doesn't rub me the wrong way or anything. Another interesting thing I noticed peeping this guy for the first time was that the serrations here are also, I'm not sure if they're painted black, if that's the steel. No, it's not steel because that's the edge. But they're also kind of blacked out versus the edge of the knife, which you can see there. Has a very unique blade shape with this big harpoon swedge here at the top. A very unique design. It's got this big cutout, which people have. First when it came out, people were like, "Oh, it's going to be a dual action side opening automatic," meaning that you could push the button, or you can just like open it normally like a knife, or like a regular folding knife. But no, it's just an automatic. But it's a beefy boy. It weighs 6.3 ounces, which is definitely on the heavier side for most knives. It's got aluminum handle. I don't know if this is titanium. It might be a titanium backspacer. I wouldn't be surprised. Big hardware, big spine columns, whatever you want to call it. I'm a big fan of the bronzed and the black look. It's very sexy. It might be a little hard. Actually, no, it does show up pretty well in the camera. But yeah, I love this blacked out look. It opens strong too. It's probably gonna deafen anything that I'm saying when I open it. The other thing, well, probably the biggest thing that struck me when I first handled this knife was how comfortable it was. It's got these nice kind of triangle grip, which interests me because, as you can see, they kind of just like fade away on the sides, which makes me wonder if these were like laser engraved into the handle, or if the whole handle had this triangle and then they lasered them off. I would be interested to know how they got this on the handle and they had that nice fadeaway design. But the thing that struck me was how comfortable it was. Not only can you hold it very comfortably like this and have a lot of leverage, but when you can also choke up here. This finger choil has some nice jimping, and then when you choke up here, it's ridiculous. You have so much control for fine cutting motions. Not that you're probably going to do a lot of fine cutting with this, just of how freaking thick the blade is. But if you needed to, you could do it, because this is so comfortable to hold. Nice big jimping here on the back of the blade. Backspacer is all jimped and it sits above the scales. And then, like I mentioned, you got jimping up here too. But when you choke up on it, it's very comfy. It's comfy in just about any grip you could ever use. So, and while it is heavy, it's gonna feel heavy in your pocket. But when you're using it, having a heavy knife to use is very gives confidence. So, seems like we already got a scratch there, but you know. So, this guy's a plunge lock or button lock, whatever you call it, like most automatic knives. I don't know what you would have to do short of like fall on top of it at the perfect angle to get this to open in your pocket. So it fires out very strong. It's like a rocket, and it takes just about as much force to close it up too, and then it's real tight. You can't, with some side opening automatics, you can give them a little squeeze, and they'll move around a little bit in the handle. But this guy, look at the tolerance right there. How close this blade and what I assume is where the spring goes and washers or whatever it uses to open it sits in the knife. There's zero blade play, and this blade is thick. So, for some specifications, the overall length, so you can put them down here so I can bring some other knives out. Overall length is 8.5, which is probably, I think the Ultratech is just in the 8.5 neighborhood as well. But putting them side by side, it looks like the Stitch is even bigger. So we can also do the Delica 4. I should have grabbed my PM2 from upstairs. That's probably a closer comparison. But I think my Barrage is also 8.5, but I don't have that guy out of the box. This guy's pretty close, my Triage. But anyway, move that out of the way. 8.5 overall. Blade length is 3 3/4, 3.75. The handle material, or the handle length, excuse me, is 5 inches, so it's a good big handle. This is definitely going to take up a lot of your pocket, and you're going to feel it too. But it's also got a Microtech, I've heard it called 2-stage clip. I don't know if Nick Shabazz said that or if it was Jim Skelton or Dr. Frunke, one of the big guys, but you can see that most pocket clips, well, let me put the Ultratech down while I talk about most pocket clips. Most pocket clips are just going to have that single lip to get over, and then they're just going to be flat for the rest of it, sit in your pocket. What Microtech does is they have the first lip here that would be like a normal knife, and then they have a second lip. So if you're wearing jeans or khakis or something with a thick seam around the pocket edge, this is going to hold on to that and give it another point of contact to grip onto. So not only is it going to have the tension between the pocket clip and the knife pinching the fabric together, but it's also going to have the grip on the seam of your pocket liner. So interesting design. Let's see if we got any other specs to mention here. Tip up carry, 6.33 ounces, aluminum alloy handle. Handle thickness is 0.62, so again, pretty beefy. It's got a nice contour as well. It's not just flat. But yeah, my dad just got this last week when I was still up at school, but now that I'm back, I am digging it. This guy's definitely going to be a keeper, and I have no plans to sell or trade him in the immediate future. So, great knife. I'd be interested to see or to get a full plain one, but I honestly don't care that it's got serrations. Some people is gonna hate that, but it doesn't bug me. Honestly, most people use their knives just to open boxes and letters and stuff. So as long as you have some plain edge, it's not an issue. But yeah, I'm in love with this knife. It's so comfortable to hold. In any way you're gonna want to hold it, and I enjoy the heft. I like that it's a heavy knife, and I love the finish and the spec on this one with the black, the apocalyptic finish, the bronze hardware. It looks amazing. I've been trying to save up to get the Combat Troodon Hellhound with the bronzed finish and the carbon fiber top, and now that I see this spec in person, I know I'll love that even more. So, price on this guy is going to be in the neighborhood of $400. So that's pretty typical of Microtech's higher end knives, both folders and out the fronts and automatics. So, but yeah, love this. This has been the Microtech Stitch.